We are continuing last week's episode. This is part 2. Hope you guys enjoy. Now that we've kind of gone into the master coaching system, I kind of want to continue the conversation as far as how we're always, changing and evolving, and how we're preparing for the future at all times. So, we have a lot of season left, obviously, this year. But behind the scenes, I mean, we are always thinking about the next year, and we're literally start talking about the next year before the season's even started. Sometimes
before the year starts.
Yeah. So we're already obviously tournaments. I've already kind of laid out a really tentative tournament schedule where we're thinking about going. They're not all out yet, but from what we know, we already kind of start to lay it out. And of course now we're working on tryouts. Now we're kind of in that beginning stage of tryouts, and tryouts are so much work,
so stressful,
and takes so much preparation. It's not as easy. I remember when I was a parent, it was like you just throw some coaches in there and do some drills and that's it. We have tweaked our tryouts every single year, and we're continue to tweak it, mainly just because we want to obviously have it run smoothly, but be able to better evaluate the talent. That's the hardest thing to do.
The placement is the hardest thing to do.
Yeah. And I think, kind of like how we talked about how our training is obviously very unique. I think our tryouts are kind of unique as well. So kind of to start it off, we have 4 levels of team, right? We have, elite is our top level, national, regional, and we don't have any local this year, but it wasn't, it is.
We have in the past, and we would like to in next year, yes.
And basically each level, obviously it's, it is skill level to a point, but it's mainly the difference is what you get, correct? I mean,
and that is exactly what parents need to understand. Just because you're a national team does not mean that you're going out to compete with the best in the nation.
Right.
It is what you get.
Yeah.
So why don't you explain what each is?
So there's multiple. This is the way there's multiple teams, depending on the age group and what we have come in. But there could be multiple elite teams, multiple national teams, multiple regional teams, multiple local teams. So it just depends. And one thing that we do in tryouts, and this is another thing that had a little bit of pushback for me because I didn't think parents would go for it, but it has honestly become one of the most fair and best things we do, is we don't necessarily put all the kids on a specific team. So we put them in to the level. So we'll say, you 30 kids are national. You 25 kids or 20 kids are elite.
In their positions. It's
Correct.
not like we get,
right.
All right, 20 out of 30 are DSs and liberos. No.
Right.
We have
you gotta
6
go by
setters.
position, obviously.
We have 6 to 8 middles.
They're
have
grouped out.
pins. Yes.
Yeah.
Within their position.
So,
correct.
And level of play.
Right.
Correct.
So, obviously, I think for a lot of parents, at least what I thought was going to be the issue is you're going to kind of go into the season not knowing what team you're going to be on, and however, I mean, I'll say from my perspective, what I like about it is it's fair. So in other words, everybody can have a great tryout, correct? I mean, we've had
a terrible tryout.
We've had kids that have come in and just lit it up at tryouts and ended up, they get into practice and you're like, oh my gosh, they're not at this level, or vice versa. Happens all the time.
Yeah.
And so
2-3 hours is not enough to evaluate every child.
And we've had 60
skills.
kids in the gym for one age group at a time. You know what I mean? Like, how do you possibly do that? So, yeah, I mean, I think that's for me the benefit as I see it. I mean, am I correct? Or what would you say is the biggest benefit in doing it that way?
Well, one of the things is that obviously, one of the things that parents don't understand is it's very easy to pinpoint who the best kid in the gym is. It's very easy to pinpoint who the most beginner kid in the gym is. That's the easy part. But what happens with the 5 teams in the middle?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
That's the hardest part in the world, because you don't know what their behavior is like, their attitude, their grit, their hustle, their leadership, their personality, their mental stability, their emotional. We don't know all that, and we have to see that. So I think that this is the best way to do it, because we try you for a 20-yard dash. We measure your jump, your block jump, and your regular approach jump, your height, and we measure your 2-step jump forward.
Yeah.
Which tells you really what your athleticism is.
Yeah.
If I have a kid that comes into the gym and touches 10 feet, well, you know what? I'm going to be able to teach you to be a middle blocker. You know what I mean? If
Yeah.
you're 14 or
So
15
that
years
that
old.
kind of that
And,
kind of
and
brings
that
me.
that kind of gives you a little bit of idea.
Yeah. So that kind of
Sometimes you just don't
so that
know
kind of
what
brings.
you are until it comes to tryouts.
Yeah. So that kind of brings me to my question is for you two, what are you looking for in a tryout when a girl's trying like what exactly is the biggest thing and the biggest couple things you're looking for?
It all depends on the level. Okay. For me, it depends on the level. Obviously, I see all the kids and I have a part in choosing all the teams, but I don't make the ultimate choice when it comes to coaches picking between two setters or two liberos or two middles. I'm going to give my opinion. I'm going to set them in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You can pick. This is where you are. But every coach likes something,
Yeah.
right? Every coach has a preference in something. One of the things that I strongly look for is effort.
Mhm.
If I do not see a kid give effort, even if the ball wasn't possible, even if the ball wasn't out of reach, you'll never know unless you try. I tell that to my kids all the time. I said, how do you know you couldn't get to that ball if all you did was turn your head?
Yeah.
You show me your effort
Mhm.
and I will show you my respect for you. It's okay that you made the error. We're not perfect.
Yeah.
But physical errors are going to happen. However, effort is what I need to see that you have. Grit. And so a good attitude, effort, and of course, I only coach the top team, so I do have to look at skill. But
Yeah.
if I have two kids that have the same amount of skill,
Right.
and one is vocal, is positive, is encouraging their teammate, is constantly talking, that's the kid I want on my team.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I need a leader.
Yeah.
I need someone that's going to give me positive energy. There are some kids that just don't bring any positive energy.
Right.
And it's unfortunate because they have the talent physically, but they're not going to bring anything positive to the team.
Yeah.
They will drain that team from that positive energy. And it's something, in my opinion, is the hardest thing for kids to overcome. We can all learn skill, but our personality is who we are. So
Yeah.
it's
Yeah,
very
and-
difficult to change that.
And as a
Yeah.
coach, you can't coach that, right?
No.
That's in your
Yeah.
blood. That's
Yeah.
who you are, right?
It
and
is.
it's gonna at the end of the day, it's gonna be a you thing. It's what you want to bring to the team, energy wise, right? And another thing we look at in tryouts is athleticism.
Yeah.
See what they can do, right? But
Sure.
at the end of the day, you can do X, Y, Z. But if the other person can do X, Y, Z, but they're bringing more positivity and you're not,
Yeah.
that's who you're
Yeah.
going to choose at the end of the day.
Oh,
So
absolutely.
you're
know?
only better as your weakest link.
Correct.
Is what
I
I
like
and,
that.
I've played beach
Yep.
volleyball for a very long time as well. After I played collegiate, I played beach volleyball, and we won based on who are weak. There's only two of us.
Yeah.
The weaker player is going to get served every single time. That's just a reality. So when I played with a big, blocker, well, who's getting served? Me. So I better bring it on. I better have my shots and better do all that. And so that's what you have to overcome by having something different. Positive energy, reading, smart,
Yeah.
all those things. So
Yeah. Yeah. And I always tell my son too, as far as, when when he's playing, I always say, you've got to be coachable. And I think a lot of people, and I think, I say this and he's like, I have a great attitude. I go, that doesn't necessarily, being uncoachable doesn't necessarily mean you have a bad attitude, but you've got to be able to apply. If a coach tells you, gives you an instruction, you've got to be able to go out and do it.
Yeah.
we have some kids that have great attitudes, but when you've told them 1,000 times
Right.
the same things, they just can't do it.
Mm-hmm.
So, and you don't know if they're not willing to do it, or you have to be able to understand, are they not physically capable of doing it, even though we've done the same drill over and over and over again, or are they not willing to do it?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Either way, if you're not physically capable or not willing to do it,
Yeah.
it's hard to move them up the ranks.
Yeah.
So, but coachability is very important. Have you ever had a girl roll their eyes at you when you've given them an instruction?
Too many
Yeah.
times.
Too many times.
Yeah.
When you give them an instruction, it's a very simple, direct instruction, and they completely dismiss, you roll their eyes and go back to doing the exact same thing.
Yeah.
uh, that
You
kid's not
know,
going to be on my team.
yeah,
Look at any top programming college, and I don't mean D1. It could be D2, NAIA, D3.
just any top
Those
program.
kids have amazing attitudes. When do you go to a
100%.
UT game and see
Right.
anybody with a bad attitude that's
Right.
not cheering or has a frown on their face? It doesn't exist.
Yeah.
It just doesn't exist.
Yeah.
And that's what the coaches look for.
Yeah.
So you
And that
have to
gets-
keep that
yeah.
in mind. And again, not all these kids are going to go to college, and that's okay.
Right.
You can play club for fun, but if you have the talent and you have the physical ability and you want to play
Yep.
even in club at a higher level, you do have to have the attitude to go along with it.
Well, and you can still show your competitive bone whether you're
Exactly.
going to go
Yeah.
to college or not
Exactly.
to play.
Well,
Yes.
and then another thing is, you obviously the kids who are already part of our club, they're going to try out next year.
Mhm.
I think it could be an advantage to them if they have a great attitude and you've seen them improve,
Absolutely.
but it can also be very much against them if they've displayed a poor attitude or,
And that's what I always try to tell them. I said, every time you're in the gym, it's a tryout.
Yeah.
Every time you're at a practice, it's a tryout. If I, as a club director, or your coach, as your coach, has to talk to you about your attitude, that's part of your tryout.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Coaches are not going to forget about that when they're picking their teams in the
Yep.
future.
Yeah.
We had a girl, and I'm going to give a shout out. This is to you, Catherine. Okay, I want to tell you right now. Her mom came to me at the beginning of the season and said, how can she get onto an elite team? And I told her, well, she's got to do this and this and this and this and that. Okay, Catherine is a middle hitter, and she's worked really hard. And she is showing all those things that we told her that she needed to work on.
Yeah.
Her tryout has been all year.
Mhm.
She has earned that spot. Even if Catherine didn't have a great tryout, we've seen her try out for 8 months.
Yeah.
We know where we're placing Catherine
Yeah.
because of what she has accomplished.
Yeah.
So those are things to keep in mind. What you do every day in the gym, what you do every day at a tournament, what you show your
Yeah.
coaches is your tryout. Every volleyball clinic,
Yeah.
every effort, every tournament, every practice.
Well, just same going through season. Like every practice is showing your coach that they can trust you to get yourself
Mm.
into playing a position or the
Yeah.
amount of rotations you're going to be playing in a tournament.
Yeah.
I think girls think we're only judging our lineup based on how they're playing in that tournament. No, a lot of it comes from the trust that we see in what you're
In
doing during practice.
Exactly.
You know,
So yeah,
Yeah. And
positive attitude is really.
100%.
And people say it all the time. Now again,
it's easier to
Let-
say than
let's-
being done.
and let's stay realistic. I've had many parents say, she works really hard. She has a wonderful attitude. Absolutely, she does. But you have to put things in perspective.
Right. Yeah.
She can't make a one seam as a hitter when you're reaching 8-5.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I try to always be as realistic as possible. She does, and she will make the best team within her physical ability.
And I think that's, for myself personally, tryouts are my least favorite part of the season. I don't
hate 'em.
I don't like
Absolutely.
it, and probably for different reasons. But for me, I grow it. You obviously grow a connection to these girls and these families,
And we love these kids.
and we
Yes.
love it. We love these kids. We love these families, and the one you're going to lose.
Can we
some.
have a one team with 45 people on
I
it?
know, but I hate it because
I love it.
because some
you
of those
must serve the next person go in.
yeah,
45 on the
yeah,
roster.
that would be maybe a few issues we might create with that. I don't
Of
know.
course, of
Just
course.
gonna
We're
say.
just kidding.
But yeah, but I mean, it's always sad for me to lose those kids, and I know that tryouts, while you're going to have a bunch of really happy kids, you're also going to have a ton of disappointed kids.
When have we ever had a
100%.
tryout where they're not have cried?
Yeah, there's always
There's
crying.
always crying.
And I get it because and like one of it's the whole thing that we always try to do is put the girls on a team of like level. And and I always, when I get obviously I get a lot of phone calls, and I'll kind of questions about how club starts, and that's one of the things I always tell them is, with a bigger club like us, one of the biggest advantages that I see is, let's say you're a U15. We have 7 U15 teams. So what does that mean? We have a huge variation in levels.
You're not
Yeah.
going to be on a team where you've got half the team at one level and
Right.
half the team on another level.
Right.
You're going to be on a team with all players that are at your level.
we're not splitting up our best players into multiple teams.
Yeah,
I
we're
want
not
people to
making
know that we're
even
putting the
players.
best players on our best teams.
And I think
That's it.
that's you see some clubs where you only have one team or two teams and you have such a difference in skill level.
Yeah.
Well, here you're going to be able to play with all kids that are at your skill level.
Yeah.
And compete for playing position.
And I always say, like, you don't want your kid to be by a mile the best player or by a mile the worst player.
No.
It does either way. It's not beneficial to you. And one thing about us is we do not play politics at FEVA, at Florida Elite Volleyball Academy. We do not play politics. It is, I've been a part of a club.
I don't even think we know what politics is.
I know. I've been a part.
How many times have you heard? But we've been loyal, and I said, and we love you for it. But I've got to place your kid on the right team,
right?
Because what happens when your child does not play?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I think at the end of the day, you're doing the best for the kid.
That?
Yeah. Well, and my
that's our goal, right?
the
best for the kid.
Yeah, my daughter's played on a club where, you make the ones team at U13, you're going to be on the ones on 14s, 15s, 16s, and the reasoning is, well, I don't want them to leave. Meanwhile, you've got a kid who's worked their butt off on the twos that deserves to be on the ones that is not given the opportunity that they deserve, and that's not fair. It's tough.
It's funny that you said that because I'm going to use Haley Andreas as an example right now. Is that she was on my 3s teams on 13s, and I kid you not, that season, didn't I go up to you and said, she's going to be on your ones team one day. She's going to be on your ones team one day.
Team this year.
And what does she do? She's a huge aspect to her 14s team right now.
And every kid develops at different stages and has different capabilities.
Yeah. I always say everybody's got their, again, I'm talking about
everybody's
basketball.
got their ceiling.
Everybody's got a ceiling.
Yes.
And everybody, like I tell my son, you're never going to be LeBron James.
No.
Never. It doesn't matter.
Love Jordan.
James
Love Jordan.
James.
Yeah, you can be, Bronny James is not LeBron James. There's certain people that are just, there's a ceiling that you have, and your job is just to hit that ceiling. That's it, and that's all. If you
work
hit the
hard,
ceiling,
have fun, enjoy it, and live it.
Yeah, if you hit that ceiling, you should be happy. That's been a success. Your career has been a success.
At the end of the day, just being an athlete itself is hard to do, right? And I think people forget that, and sometimes you wish and you want something else for that individual that might not be for them, and that's okay.
And again, volleyball.
But there's something there. We have that place for that person.
So we have to understand that volleyball is not one of those sports that you just play in high school and then you never play again.
Right.
Yes.
I'm gonna say I'm old. Okay, I'm not gonna tell you my age, but I've played volleyball.
She's 21.
High school, college, and then after college, I went to adult nationals. I've played beach volleyball. I have 2 beach volleyball courts in my backyard. I have played volleyball my whole life, and it has been my pride and joy. And so even when now I'm not fast, definitely not strong. Can I jump more than 5 inches? Probably not. But I still enjoy playing volleyball.
And she still beats some of the youngies.
So it's just fun. It's my life.
Yeah.
And I'm so grateful to the sport because it continues to give me, joy even at my old age.
Yeah.
So
and that's for me, that's the advice that the number one advice I can give parents, in particular when it comes to tryouts, is I know we all want to make team X. We want to be on the top team. We want to be we want to get a bid, and we want all that, and that's all great. You should definitely strive for that. It's okay, because a lot of times you're going to have more fun and grow more on a team at your level. I talked to obviously.
But how many times, David, have we lost kids that didn't make the ones team from one year to the other because they made the twos? They go to another club, make their ones, and our threes beats them.
And we beat them, yeah.
So ones teams across the board are not the same.
Yeah.
Period.
100%.
And that's the thing is, if you're gonna, you can still go on a twos and threes. And again, our twos and threes, I'm so proud of how. I mean, they've been getting better each and every year. Yeah. But I mean, this year, Michael's won, I think, 3 tournaments.
My advice is find a team that your daughter's skill level is matched by her teammates,
and she's gonna play.
Yeah,
you're not, because I always say
gonna play.
I always say everybody
she's gonna play.
Everybody wants to compete in July. When tryouts are in July, everybody, we can compete. We're gonna win that position. But then in January, it's not the same thing. Now it's why is my daughter not playing? I told my son's club director, I was like, look, I don't care what team you put him on. I just want him to play. If I'm going to come and spend this money and spend my time to come to these tournaments, I am not trying to watch other people's kids play.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just
Put
the
them on a
truth.
team that they can play.
And they're
You
going to
know.
be, and they're going to be nobody. We don't have anybody on our fours who belongs on our ones. I mean, it's just being realistic. I mean, we may not be 100% perfect. And that's one thing kind of going back to the trials we didn't discuss is, we put them in that bucket of national, and then we'll have a placement day where we'll eventually decide on what team.
So let me explain that for the parents. When you come to tryouts, when you register tryouts, you're going to register, are you trying out for an elite, a national, a regional, or a local team? You'll have that option on your tryout list.
Yeah, that's a new thing. That's a new thing for this year.
That's a new thing. And then based on that, you're going to get a time slot where you are going to try out. That, of course, does not mean that you're going to make exactly that team,
Right.
because we will have parents who will want to try out for an elite team, but then be in the gym and see that obviously this is not the level of their daughter. Okay. And that's going to happen. And that's okay.
And I'm going to defend them. And for a lot of people, especially if you've never played club before, you have no idea. You can be the star of YMCA, volleyball. And legitimately be the star, and then walk into us and make our regional,
Or
and then struggle to make the regional
from another state, and they
Right.
don't do it this way,
Yeah.
and they
And
come
that's
in and they're
perfectly
thinking
fine.
like elite means
But
whatever it does.
But
you
the
know?
reason behind that is because last year at tryouts, and again, we grew and we learned.
Yeah.
There were many kids that we felt should be at a regional level.
Right.
Because they still need that basis. They still need all those things of development that a kid at that age needs. However, they were not happy with development. They needed to be on a national team. So they left.
Yeah.
Great kids, great families, left, made a national team at another club.
Yeah.
Now, is that national team better than our 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 national teams that we have? No. But they went because they did not get the quote unquote national team.
Yeah.
So what we are going to do is we are going to give parents what they are looking for, but that does not mean they're going to be on a team with kids that are better than their kids.
Right.
You are going to be trying out for national. This is what you get for national. You get 9 teams, you get 9 tournaments, you get 1 out of state, you get 3 practices a week. You go from this time to this time. Now within our national kids, we are going to make those teams.
Right.
Based on the positions that we have.
Right. And it's usually going to be done at that placement day, which will take place
exactly.
October.
So all these kids make it based on the positions. They accept it. And then we are going to have a placement. We'll probably have 3 days where they come in. They play only for 2 hours within their teams. And those coaches will, and we have a pretty good idea.
Yeah.
After the tryout, we've placed them in team, national for Coach Brianna, Coach Elise, Coach Brittany. They're all in their teams.
Yeah.
However, during those placements, there's going to be tweaks.
Yeah.
And we make sure that, okay, this person needs to go down. This person needs to go up. We can't switch them from elite to national or national to regional.
Yeah.
But within national, they will make the team that they best fit, and we'll have some tweaks. I would say we're about 90% accurate in tryouts.
Yeah. It's
So
taken a little while. I mean, it wasn't like that.
So we're very accurate, 90%. But during placements, I would say if you had 50 kids, we're going to move about 7 or 8 of those kids and tweak it and move them up or down.
Yeah. And then
that has avoided so many placement changes, because we'll get into a practice and a coach will come to me and say, Coach, I need that girl from the 4s. Why is she not on my 2s?
Right.
Or why? Like, I don't know. We missed that kid. We're not perfect.
Yeah.
So it has avoided that. Those 3 placement days will be letting them play. Not to mention, you got high school.
Yeah.
You got middle school. You got mini club. They get better.
Yeah.
Some kids get so much better within that time frame.
Yeah. And then on top of that, you have kids that, are out of town during tryouts or haven't moved here yet. So you've got, you evaluate in July, then you've got a kid that comes to an open gym or something in August. You don't know until you see him in a placement day, You know, you don't know. And then another thing we do that from an admin perspective drives me nuts, but it's the right thing to do, is that we will also change teams within a season. You know, if we get in, the practices get started and there's just someone who's just, we've still messed up on, some people can't come to the placement day, or, whatever, or someone joins after placement day, we will do our very best to make that adjustment to put them on the proper team.
I mean, ultimately, you are paying for a club experience to play with kids of your same level, of your same skill level, so you can compete at that level.
Yeah.
And so it's not fair to not demote or promote a kid that is not at that level.
Yeah.
And it goes both ways. We move kids up, we move kids down.
Yeah. Yeah.
So.
And again, it's an admin nightmare sometimes.
It is an admin nightmare.
But it's the right thing
and
to
they're
do.
tough conversations sometimes with the parents.
Yeah, but
so.
I mean, I will say the whole point in all this, sometimes I'll be like, oh my gosh, can we just leave this? We just not ruffle feathers.
And how many conversations, Davis, have we tried to move a child down, parent refuses, and it backfires?
Yeah.
Yeah.
On the parent.
Yeah.
Because we ask, please trust us.
Yeah.
But they don't trust us.
Yeah. But when they do, sometimes.
And sometimes the next year, they've come to me and be like, whatever you say, I'm just going to go to the team that you put me on.
Yeah.
Because we do have the
respect
best
the
interest.
decision that's happening.
We do.
Yeah.
What do we as a club have to gain by putting a child on the wrong wrong team?
Right.
And that's what I guess you have to believe who we are.
Yeah.
What do we gain by putting a great player on a lower level team or a not so great player on a higher level team? Nothing.
Yeah. Yeah.
We have to do the best that we can for placement.
100%.
Yeah.
So
absolutely.
Yes.
All right. So now that we've kind of, we've gone over, some of the master coaching and the tryouts. The last thing I kind of want to talk about with Katia is a word that we use all the time. It's one of the words that we use from the very beginning of when we started FEVA.
Let me hear it. I know what it is.
Culture.
Yes.
We are all about our culture. It's very, very important to us.
It's who we are.
Yeah. I mean,
it's what FEVA is.
It is. I mean, we want to have a certain culture, for lack of a better word.
Well, I think every business does, right?
Yeah.
Google has a culture. Amazon has a culture. Walmart has a culture. Everything has a culture.
Yeah.
And you either love it or it's just not your fit.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I believe for me, the way I would describe our culture is family. And we're a rather large club. I mean, I think we have a lot of teams, but I still think that we keep that family atmosphere. And kind of, I'm going to way backtrack to the master coaching. One of the things that I didn't mention that I love about it is the girls actually, because they practice together, they know each other. And if you notice from the last 2 years versus this year, I'm sorry, the before 2 years ago versus last year and this year, you see more girls cheering on other teams than we used to see.
Yeah. And
I think that's a direct result of that master coaching, but also the culture that we are. There's no, again, my daughter's been in a club where the ones girls think they're better than the twos girls, so they don't really want to.
They practice together now.
They practice together. They're friends. They like each other, and they, sometimes you might have, a girl in the ones get hurt. Let's bring up a girl in the two to help with this tournament because you need that extra player. And they all know each other, and they just we all try to make this as a family.
Yeah.
And I think that's really, really important and really special that we do. That I don't think even in some smaller clubs, I don't think that's a part. I don't know everybody, but I'm pretty close. But every single person in the club. I mean, every single kid, and it is. I mean, and it's not because you have to. I mean, we don't have to know everyone. We don't have to. You want to.
The only thing that messes me up is the parents. Sometimes I can't.
You can't place the whose parent is whose kid.
I know the name of the parent, but I don't know the parent's face.
Yeah.
Me, I'm very I'm bad with names. I remember faces, but I'm bad with names. And I'd be like, hey, Katia, this parent said XYZ to me today. Nothing negative, just speaking to me. And I talk to them, and I love them, and they're amazing. But whose parent is that? she's like, oh, that's the yada, yada, yada. Yeah. And I'm like, how do you know this?
I know. Well, Arden's mom. Arden is on Katia's 15s. She has a daughter that goes to another club, and so I left one court, and she was sitting on a court that I look at the court, and it's obviously neither FEVA team is playing, and the mom was like, "Hey, Davis," and I was like, "Hey," and like I knew her, but I was like I couldn't figure, and I walked about 10 steps. And I wanted so bad to turn around and be like, okay, I know who you are. But it just took me a second.
Like Arden came to me and I was like, long time no see. And she's like, Coach, I saw you the other day. Yeah. I was like, no, I know that. But I'm just saying, we you're
actually
not
saw
here for
her in Chicago.
Yes.
She was there with her little
yeah.
And I saw her hair looked all pretty.
She looked so different.
I'm like, Arden, your hair is so pretty.
Yeah.
It was just because I always see them all sweaty and gross, you know what I mean?
But I think when I said long time no see, I don't think she understood that, like, I know I saw you the other day, but you're just not in your regular FEVA gear. She looks like she's like,
and she came to all those 16 games.
Yeah. She goes like this. She goes, Coach, you saw me the other day. I was like,
it's not the same.
I'm like, dude, I know.
It's like they're two different people.
So when I saw her practice on Tuesday, I was like, hey, a long time no see. She was still looking at me like, does Coach really know?
It's an old joke. Maybe. Yeah, it's an old person.
I'm
joke.
an old person, so and I try to explain that to her, but I did give her a little bit of.
But I think that our culture
for not wearing a FEVA
is who we are.
Yes.
It is who we are, and I think the coaches can see it. They can
100%.
sense it. They're a family, and I think the parents know that as well. But one of the things is a part of our culture that I think is very important is you, me, and Fernando are accessible at all times.
Absolutely.
Ooh, I like that.
How many club directors answer your texts within minutes, answer your emails within that day?
Yeah.
Pick up the phone. How about you see them? Today we were at Fieldhouse. Fernando and I there till the very last game. I was there yesterday till the very last game. We are at every single tournament. We are accessible. You can talk to us. You can ask us questions.
Yeah.
I get parents to text me all the time. What's this? What's that? And just random questions. Let me ask you this. What do you think? What do you think about this? And always we are accessible.
Yeah. And I think, I always feel like we kind of like the girls, like everybody has a ceiling. We have a ceiling, but we, as far as what we can do, but we maximize what we can do. We work as absolutely hard as we possibly can. Now there are times where we have to turn it off and say, hey, I'm going to go watch my daughter graduate college, and I'm not gonna I'm not gonna answer. But those are very few and far between. And I think that nobody. It's one thing that I'm learning, but I still can't accept is you can't make everybody happy. Our culture is not for everybody. No. Our club is not for everybody.
Well, nobody's culture,
right?
Nobody's culture. Yeah. You will never make everybody happy. But I will say, we do a darn good job, and I have some great statistics to prove that. As far as the majority.
Yeah.
Because there's no way you can make everybody happy. No, there's no way.
Yeah, we were talking the other day today actually, about the number of phone calls you've had from parents.
So, one of the things, I am the person who talks to parents regarding playing time or problems on a team, so forth.
Yeah, and I'm going to interject real fast. Remember how we were talking a few episodes about if we had a poll of who's your favorite director, like if you had to rank your directors 1, 2, 3, 4, I guarantee you Katia would be either 1 or 4 for every single parent or every single player, because she's the one who has to deal with all the tough stuff.
Yeah, I have to give it to Katia, because the men in this 3 of you in the director club love to send everything to Katia, and Katia does an amazing job.
She does. I give her full credit.
And and she's not ugly about it. She speaks the truth. She gives you
the point.
Facts.
Well, direct is not the way of the world now. Correct. So it is hard for a lot of
But she's gotten better. She has gotten better.
I want to let people know, when Katia is speaking, she's giving you factual information.
Yeah.
She would not say it if there was nothing to back up what she was trying to say, right? And not everyone agrees the way how people approach things. That's anyone. That's me. That's you. That's Davis. That's Fernando. That's any coach in this world. Anyone that's given instructions, right? Yeah. But she does a beautiful job explaining why, when, if, or what. It does not matter. And she can do it for every single team in our club.
Yeah.
She's not saying it based off of what the coach is saying. She is saying it based off her observation.
And that's one of the things about culture. Like for me, my coaches are here to coach.
Yeah.
I need to deal with all the excess stuff.
Yep.
And it is very difficult for a coach to have to deal with problems on their team. So I really do like to take on all those parent conversations.
Yeah. And
at the end of the day, you're gonna love me if you don't have any issues. But if you're going to have a lot of issues on, for whatever reason, and our issues go from not enough posts on social media to, the coach hit this ball too hard at my daughter to, I'm done with this team and I walked out of a tournament. Literally, that's how wide our
Yeah.
issues are. And I have to deal with all of them.
Yeah.
And so I will say, what do we got? How many players do we have in the club?
Well, I think in the beginning we were at 360 at one point was the last that I counted. We may have, we've added some, lost some, but
Okay,
we're in that 350 to 360
so
range.
you're looking at 350 to 360 this year, due to our master coaching schedule, due to the fact that I'm the one that deals with most of those. We have had 14 parent meetings, whether they be on the phone or in person.
Mhm.
That's less than 3%.
That's
So
incredible.
if
It's
I'm going
incredible.
to say, and these are complaints,
Yeah.
like serious meetings where I'm going to have to, me, you, and Fernando have had to sit in on a meeting,
Right.
a conversation with me and the coach and the parent or the player, asking a parent to come in. We have had 14 meetings. And most of them were not a big deal. I
Yeah.
would say
Yeah.
maybe half of them were a big deal.
Yeah.
Now we've had a conversation here and there. Hey, how can my daughter improve? She really wants to be this. She wants to be that.
Yeah.
Those are simple conversations.
Right.
But I have to give it to the parents. If 97% of our parents are not having these conversations,
Yeah.
we
Yeah.
have the most amazing parents in this club.
Yeah.
I have 14 meetings.
Yeah.
14.
Yeah.
That's it.
That's
not
a
a lot.
gift.
I mean,
That's a
it's
gift.
In the years in the past when we did not have this master coaching system, I had a lot more. Now I get texts here and there after a tournament, which I always try to remind people there's a 24-hour rule. We still don't quite understand what that rule means because I still get texts, even though there's a 24-hour rule. I'm like, just because you send me a text and say, don't respond till Monday, that
Right.
doesn't mean that the 24-hour rule
That's
has
the worst thing you can do. Because let me
It-
tell you
it's
something.
always-
I'm gonna forget about the text. I'm gonna
Yeah.
open it. I'm gonna read it. Say, okay, I'll wait till
But-
Monday, and then
but they can't
it's
have
totally
comes-
missing the point.
comes
of the
Friday.
24-hour rule.
Yeah.
yeah.
comes Friday. They're
But-
like, hey, coach, are we gonna sit down and talk? And I'm like,
But
oh,
however,
crap,
a
I
lot of
forgot.
there's a lot of questions. I do get
Yeah.
parent phone calls, but they're very, at least from my from my view about other teams, they're considerate. They need information. They
Yeah.
need to understand why.
Clarity.
Why does my player get taken out here? Why does my player only go
Right.
3 rotations here? Why does my player? And a lot of times when you explain it to the parents, they understand.
Right.
Yeah.
And it has been really a
And-
blessing.
But we
to
don't-
have.
but we also don't get-
also people
Yes.
that are new to the sport, right?
Yeah.
They compare the sport to other sports,
Yeah.
and we're not other sports.
We're not.
We're not
You
by
can't
minutes.
compare soccer in minutes
Yes,
to rotations on volleyball.
correct.
Yeah.
Of course.
But we don't have the complaint. I think the point is, we don't have complaints about my practices aren't run well.
No,
My,
my
you know,
coach
no.
isn't teaching
my
them
coach is
anything.
not teaching. My daughter's not. I mean,
No.
it's
Yeah.
It's
generally
more
speaking.
I would
questions
say
of why is my daughter not doing X, Y, Z.
99%. Yeah, 99% of complaints are my daughter is not playing.
Yeah.
As much as
Yeah.
I feel my daughter should
Yeah.
be playing.
My daughter's a middle. Why does she come out of the game?
Yeah.
Things like
Yeah.
that.
So a lot of times, and unfortunately, I think that's going to be the issue with every sport in every club in the whole entire nation.
Oh, yeah.
Correct?
Yeah.
Is there
And-
ever
Yeah.
what if you asked every director in the whole entire nation of every sport, what is the number one complaint from
Playing
parents?
time.
Playing.
Let me tell you something. I know a lot of sports, right? I don't know soccer. So if my daughter goes and plays soccer, I'm gonna be like, I'm clueless.
You need to make her play soccer. It's great for footwork.
Yeah,
all my 3
she's
kids
gonna.
play soccer.
I told Stefan. Or actually, I told my dad this today. My daughter's gonna play soccer. It's good
Absolutely.
for footwork, coordination, all of that.
And
Should have
then
put
you
my
can move
kid.
it to a
I
libero.
should have put Kylie in soccer.
But let me tell you something. There's no way I can ever question the coach.
You just cheer.
Yeah. I'm gonna have to
Yeah,
be her
and
biggest
that's-
cheerleader. Because
yeah.
let me tell you something. I'm like, I could kick a ball. I could kick a ball hard. I could be a little goalie over here. For the life of me, I don't know the dang game to save my life. Like,
Yeah.
I don't. And I'm not gonna go disrespect
Right.
a coach or anything and be like, why is my daughter not playing? Like, while meanwhile, like, Leilani's the worst one on the court, or not even a court,
But-
the field.
Yeah,
Right?
but that's
Look at me talking
again,
volleyball.
that's culture.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think that in hindsight, if I had to look at it, and sometimes, I have a conversation, I'm like, God, it's tough.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
tough because we really do care about these kids,
Mhm.
but it's difficult because you're trying to tell a parent, we love your kid.
Correct.
It is not personal.
Yeah.
Correct.
Please believe me, it is
Yeah.
not personal. There is no coach here that has it out for your child.
No.
It's just based on performance. How do we make the team better? What we're trying to do.
Right.
But
We
I
love the
think
kids
that
at the end of the
parents,
day, you know?
if you think about it, if only 3% of parents have had an actual meeting, we've got to be doing something
Oh
right.
yeah.
We've got to be doing something
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
And even with those meetings that I've had, I'm going to continue to try to make those relationships better.
Yeah.
Because if you think about it, a parent feels that way because their daughter feels
Yeah.
that way.
100%.
And your daughter is
Yeah.
the most important thing in the world.
Yeah.
You know,
So they're emotional.
Yeah.
We're practical.
Yeah.
But we have to be able to put ourselves in those
and
shoes.
it's funny that
So-
you say that. Like, I walk around and I get to go see other teams. When I was in Chicago, Stephon walked around, and
How many kids did you see crying in Chicago? A ton.
A ton.
I would walk in the
Right?
bathroom and there's a mom and a
Yeah.
daughter crying.
Yeah.
But I also have the moments of being able to sit out of court and hearing the great positive things about our
Yeah.
club. And I tell, Stephon comes with me or whatever, or I have the conversations. And some of these coaches probably know me better than I know their children, right? Or their team. And that happens when you're so invested in your own team and whatever. You might not be on the same days, whatever. But I tell Stephon, I was like, even though I'm done, I'm gonna go watch XYZ play. I want to put my
Yeah.
footprint
And we sit on
into
each
these-
other's benches.
Yeah.
We sit
And
on
I-
each
and I
other's
think
benches.
That's the culture.
That is a culture. I mean, I
And I
could
love
be
it.
mistaken.
And I
No
love it.
if I'm wrong and there's another club that does it like we do, I apologize. I have never seen.
I'm sorry, I'm
like,
never.
And again, you can't
Never.
qualifiers. You can't count qualifiers because you have to be on the roster. But if you like this weekend at Winter Haven, I mean, there was the ref. One of the refs. He calls me always like, so let me just ask you, like, how many coaches are on your roster? And I look and I go, 7. and he smiled and I was like, maybe 8 if those games finish. I don't
support each other.
I don't see
all
another
the
club.
time.
And these coaches, they don't get paid extra. They don't have to do it. We don't tell them to do it.
Mhm.
I've never heard you tell a coach, you need to come sit on so and so's bench.
Yeah.
They just do it
Yeah.
because they want to. They want to help the kids. They want to, they're coaches are friends with each other, and that is
And when you
such.
see each other, we give each other a hug. Hey, how did your
And look-
team do?
And it's like,
Yeah.
It's always
and it's like this.
that.
So it's like this. Coach Michael. I love Coach Michael, but I'm going to be honest with you. I'm very jealous of Coach Michael because when I walk in the gym, this happened the other day. I walk into Brandon Academy. The girls are like, Davis, everybody's excited. Coach
walks
Michael
in the
walks
gym.
in 5 minutes after me, and he got more Coach Michaels than I got Davis. And I was upset
People love
because-
Coach Michael.
because he's
What are you gonna
there.
do?
He goes on their bench. He talks to him. He helps them. He helps coach them. That is a culture
Hey.
thing.
I taste some salt.
I was like, what is she doing? Yeah, I
It was a
know.
little
I am jealous.
salty.
I am jealous, but I love it at the same point in time because it's not
Well-
it's not just Coach Michael. It's just it's every single coach.
And we all participate in clinics. They all see everybody. There's
Yeah.
not one coach that
Yeah.
only takes care of their team.
Yeah.
No.
And that's one of the things, I don't know really, how do other clubs do it for pay and missing practices and coverage? I don't even know.
Yeah.
We post it, who can cover me, because life happens.
Yeah.
Right? We miss work. How can we not sometimes miss a practice?
Yeah.
And we all cover, we all know our kids, we know everybody. We're not afraid to give feedback and help with the other teams. And that's what makes it that we all know each other.
And just
it's true though, because I mean, I'm one for it. Like I'm coaching a top team, and I'm like, hey Katia, I'm gonna be like 5-10 minutes late. I'm running later.
We
than
got
I
it.
thought.
We
She's
got
like,
it.
we got it. Right.
Yeah.
That's the perks of our master coaching, right?
Yeah.
If your head coach is not there, guess what? You have a master coach there that's gonna help.
Yeah.
Or if not, like if I know I'm missing a full on practice, it's like, hey Danny, can you come?
Or Brittany, or
Hey,
Michaela,
Michaela,
Katia, Fernando,
Courtney, Alexis, anyone. We at the end of the day, we created this culture that the minute, honestly, we're fighting to cover each other's practices. We put in the chat.
And what about our group chat?
Instantly.
Happy birthday.
Yeah.
When
God,
somebody,
the happy
we
birthday
post
wild.
our kids' pictures, right? Courtney
Yeah.
just posted a cute little
Kennedy.
outfit of Kennedy,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
So we're part of each
Yes.
other's families. Coach Michael has brought his kids a couple times to
100%.
practices.
It's like Elise's
They're-
birthday is April 25th, so I'm waiting for their birthday
So-
shout outs.
So
Yeah.
what I'm saying is we do support each other and we are a part of each other's lives, but that makes us care about who
Yeah.
we have. And when I have, hey, I can't, I have tons of coaches. Katia, I'm having problems with this lineup. Katia, I'm having problems with this. How do I get this kid to stop doing this? How do I get this? You know what I mean? There's always backup.
Yeah.
There's always reinforcements.
Yeah.
There's always resources that you can tap into.
We're two top coaches here, and I even said this to you in Chicago. I look for your feedback, and I'm not afraid to. I'm not afraid to say, "Hey, Katia, I need your advice."
You cannot grow if you cannot take feedback.
Right?
You can't.
And she looks at me. She's like, "You did everything." If at that moment, if I'm talking to her about a certain situation, she's not afraid of like, "Hey, you did everything you could," or she's not afraid to say, "Hey, you could have possibly think about this situation." Right?
And if I'm on the bench, I'm going to tell her,
Yeah.
you could think about this. This is what's happening here. We give it. And
And-
she's got the ultimate say, but we're not afraid to give that opinion.
and we're not afraid to, when a coach is doing that, to make them feel like they're better than us.
It's just
We
feedback.
all have different coaching styles,
So,
and at the
it
end
is
of the
good.
day, we're going to be successful because we can all do
Yeah.
that.
And unlike other clubs I've heard, we don't have our top coaches stay in the top hotels and our bottom coaches stay in different hotels.
Yeah.
Or our top coaches
No.
go on this first class flight while our bottom coaches are riding the train, and we don't. Everybody's treated the same. Everybody's. I don't put you. Contrary to what people will say, I don't put you on a flight that I'm not going to go on the same.
I don't know.
flight.
I saw Michaela have to walk off a plane.
All right, we're not doing this. We're not doing this.
And I will say this. So one of the things, parents are always, and I hear this all the time, and I parents always say, "Oh, well, this is a money thing, or it's a money grab."
Money grab. Yeah.
There are so many things
what
that
was
we
that?
add.
Money grab.
Money grab.
Okay.
We add so many things that are not included in
Yeah.
the tuition.
Yeah.
So, for example, we add an extra scrimmage at the beginning of the year. We don't charge for that.
Yeah.
We add it. It's a whole day. We pay coaches. We
Mhm.
pay travel.
Mhm.
We pay our time. We do everything that we have to do. We don't charge more for it.
Yeah.
We've lost sunshine, added other tournaments.
Yeah.
We didn't charge because we added another tournament. Sometimes kids get added to a roster because you're missing other kids. Okay, so for example, one of our teams is missing a couple of players because one of them is injured, and we're going to A6. We want to be able to get a bid for this team. It's a twos team. People think that because we add a player or two, we're charging them. We're not charging them. We
Yeah.
don't make any money.
Yeah,
we are not
we were accused of
making
that,
any
yeah.
more money. The whole purpose is to have a team develop and succeed. Period.
Yeah.
If it costs us more money, it costs
Yeah.
us more
And
money.
we do.
That
She answered
ultimately
the
is
question
the
I had.
experience.
At the end of the day, and I want to hear from both of you, right? Because Davis, you kind of get out of these questions sometimes. But what's your goal as an overall club? Like, what are you looking for player wise as a whole? Like, what is gonna make us continue to grow, to be successful, for the best for these children? What are you looking for?
I think my ultimate goal is to be able to start we have we have a DRP program, which
Yep.
is our developmental program. We've got 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 years old. But I want to start that program where it grows, and we have that bottom tier where kids that are 7, 8, 9 years old are coming in, and I'm able to see that 7-year-old graduate as an 18-year-old from our
Yeah.
program.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I want to be able to
Yeah.
start
Give me
them
chills.
and finish them. So I get to know their families, who they are, and say, you are a part of FEVA. Because when they come back from college, you know where they're coming to coach? At FEVA.
Yeah.
That's it.
Oh, I
and
love
we
it.
have,
or
and that's a culture.
my
they
gosh,
we
yeah.
have
I
they
love it.
know
we
they
have
have a
kids
family here.
that have
right?
graduated
Yep.
from us, gone off to college, and when they're done, they come back, get a job here in Tampa, and come back to coach for
Yeah.
us.
And we're
And
only
that
Or
is
even if they
amazing.
don't have a job,
Yeah.
right? They're just looking to. I don't know what's next in my life, but I'm home.
And
They
this is
know
where I
where their
feel at
family
home.
is.
This is where I feel at home.
Yeah. I mean, we've only been here 5 years. We've already had ex players come and coach, so it's going to continue.
Yeah.
Most of those kids are still in college.
So I'm gonna give a little story from Chicago because it kind of gave me like a full full circle moment where Jordan was in Chicago. She might have not been coaching a team, but Jordan was with us in Chicago. And, the coaches went out together. Like we just all went out for dinner or whatever. And we're all sitting there. And I look, I go, hey, Jordan. And she looks at me and goes, isn't this weird being on this side of it? Like when,
Because Jordan wasn't a player.
yeah,
Yes.
Jordan was a player one time. I go, I used to see you. We used to put you to bed. Mom used to put you to bed. And mom, Tina was a coach at the time, would come out with the coaches for a little. And, Jordan wasn't like 9. Okay. She was like 17 staying home. Let me clarify that. But we would go out and we would just kind of get together and just kind of unwind for the night. And it wasn't anything crazy, but it's just we're all together. We can all share our experiences. We can all be there for each other, talk a coach.
But now she's
down.
on that other end.
And now she's on the
Yeah.
other end.
Yeah.
So I go, Jordan, how weird is it?
Yeah.
Like this is what it was 10 years ago.
Yeah.
When you were playing,
Yeah.
and now you're on this side of it. Like now you know what we were doing when you went to bed. Coaches
When-
did our thing,
when Kylie came to coach AAUs last year, she was kind of telling me the same thing. She's like, it's kind of weird. Like Elise coached me, Katia coached me, Fernando coached me. Now we're like all going out to dinner together. It's really, really weird.
Yeah.
Like I shared a Pizookie with them now.
Yeah.
Like you and your Pizookie.
Like my
I had to
30,
say, I had to bring it up.
my 30th birthday is at A6, and I'm thinking
But that's
about
the
like
culture.
I'm thinking about,
Yeah.
man, I hope Kylie's there. I'm hoping Jordan's there.
Yeah.
I'm like, I used to coach these girls, and now they're going to go help me celebrate my 30th
We even have
birthday.
kids from other clubs calling us.
Yeah.
Yes.
To be
Yes.
assistant coaches for
And,
us.
and
So-
at the end of the day, that just shows like we're
However,
putting it together.
we got to put our kids first.
Yeah.
At the end of the day,
Yeah.
we have to put
It's
our
only
FEVA
fair.
kids first.
Yeah,
It's only fair.
100%.
All right,
Yeah.
so I'm gonna wrap this thing up because we're gonna be here till midnight. But
I know, guys. We started when the sun was up.
I know,
Now the
I
sun
know.
is down
I
and it's
know.
dark out.
so I did want to say one thing. So I've had a lot of people come up to me and say, hey, we want to be able to ask questions. We want to, ask a question on the podcast, or I have a suggestion for a topic. So we have now that we are the biggest volleyball podcast in Florida,
And only one.
but the biggest.
But the biggest.
the
At the
biggest.
end of the day, we're
So
the
we
biggest.
have-
We're the greatest.
That's right. So we have
Well,
we have an
I don't
email.
know.
So it is fevapodcast@gmail.com. So please send us your questions. If you have any, topics you want to send, we will do our best at least for your questions to, discuss them on the episode. We can
Yeah.
call you out by name if you want to if you want me to call you by name, or we can keep it anonymous. It's up to you. But please send those again, fevapodcast@gmail.com. FEVAPODCAST@gmail.com for those of you who can't spell. But please do that. Thank you, Coach Katia.
Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, we want questions, right? That are coming from everyone. It doesn't necessarily have to be FEVA related.
It doesn't have to be volleyball related. You can ask me, what's my favorite Pizookie or whatever you want. That's totally fine.
Oh,
Yes,
that
because
was
everybody
you
wants to
saying
know
it.
that.
Yeah, that's a
Yeah.
big one.
It's strawberry.
At the end of the
It
day,
is
it could be
strawberry.
like Katia's coaching style.
She ruined it.
It could
Yeah.
be like, what makes Elise smile?
Yeah. So please do that. And again, of course, like I said, subscribe to our podcast.
Yeah.
What are you waiting for? Let's just get it over with. I'm going to keep bugging you till you do it. And you guys are not all subscribed yet.
Yeah.
I can tell.
Well,
So,
can I close it out?
go ahead?
All right. Well, thank you guys for listening. We had our favorite director on today, Katia Saavedra. And
Only if we have not had an issue.
No, she's amazing. We'll have her back on again. I'm sure a lot of your questions are going to be questions she can answer. But no, we're grateful to have you guys hearing us. And again, this is the episode over the last, next 2 weeks. So,
all right. Well, thank you for having me on.
FEVA side, serve it up live. Davis in the cut, Coach Lee's on the mic. Hey!